Happy Monday. Here's this week's Monday Mindset. So, about 11, 12 years ago, I started to experience ocular migraines. For those of you who don't know what those are, it's basically a migraine. It may or may not be accompanied with a headache that you kind of go blind for about 30 minutes. And then your vision starts to come back. It starts out as like a little small floater, and then all of a sudden you see little zigs over here, little zigs over there. Floater grows bigger, and eventually you can't really see very good. So, like if I was looking at someone's face, I might see your right eye and I might see the bottom of your chin, but I really can't see much else other than that when I'm in the height of one of these migraine attacks. With that, comes like a lot of anxiety kind of things or whatever. So, and I didn't really know what was causing them. I know it was happening once every couple months, and it was really really unpleasant. I didn't really like it very much, but figured it was something I'd have to deal with. So fast forward to about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, my daughter Evelyn, same issue. She started getting the ocular migraines and going through it and knowing how much it sucks. Like it's awful when it happens to you, but it's worse when you see it happening to your daughter. So with that, we decided, well, we're going to try and figure out what's causing this. How can we prevent it from happening, or at least limit it from happening? Um, Turns out a big trigger for Evelyn turned out to be dairy. Well, she got a few. She got dairy, chocolate, and any food dyes. Turns out my triggers were mostly just peanut butter, but for her, dairy, chocolate, food dyes. And so 2.5 years ago, when we told her she couldn't eat those things anymore, she was pretty bummed out. Evelyn's 10 now, 10 and a half. She was like 8 at the time. She's pretty bummed out because she loves pizza. She loves candy like any other kids, but now she can't really have it the same way. So I made a deal with her that I would stop eating dairy, food dyes, chocolate, all that stuff with her because, when you're a father, you do that kind of thing. So, with that said, where I'm getting at with this is so anytime we go out to eat, it's a little bit, you know, you have to ask for no cheese, no dairy on things. You got to, you could be perceived as being difficult because you want the salad, you want to make sure there's no cheese, and you want to make sure they have a dressing that doesn't have dairy on it, stuff like that. So like, we've eaten out a lot less because of it, and it's people sometimes you get like you can tell they're annoyed by it. A lot of the time, people are fine. But where I'm getting at with this is this past weekend I went out to South Portland House of Pizza and I ordered a pizza with bacon and green pepper, no cheese. And the guy working, I don't know if he was the manager or the owner, who he was, but he was awesome. He goes, "Okay, yep, no cheese on that, no problem. Let me ask you a question. Is it for a food allergy?" Which I've never really been asked before when ordering something without cheese. And I go, "Yeah." So he said, "Okay, great. So what we'll do is we'll use the pizza sauce, we'll use the spaghetti sauce instead of the pizza sauce because the pizza sauce has some Parmesan in it. Pizza sauce has no dairy in it whatsoever. We'll use that instead." And instantly, I felt good. I felt like, wow, this guy's going above and beyond. He's thinking things through. He's really, providing a better experience than I've experienced at other restaurants when I've just made this simple request for no dairy. So, place the order with him. Go sit down, waiting for it to be made or whatever, and it's getting ready to come out. Oh yeah, and before this, he goes, "Just so you know, I'm going to personally make the pizza for you to make sure there's no dairy in it." So we go sit down. We're waiting. For it to come out. And about 10, 15 minutes later, I hear him say to the guy next to him, "Hey, that pizza with no cheese on it, make sure you use our gluten-free cutter on it because we want to make sure there's no dairy on there." And he wasn't saying it so I could hear him. He was just talking to the other worker just to take that extra step to make sure I was taken care of. And I personally thought, wow, this guy's a rock star. If I could recruit him to come be a real estate agent, I would because that's exceptional service. So, what does this have to do with real estate? Well, when someone's buying a house through you or selling their house through you, a lot like when I'm ordering food and trying to get no dairy and trying to help my daughter avoid the migraine or avoid a migraine myself, there's some anxiety in that because you're nervous about how the professional on the other end is going to handle it. Someone's buying a house, selling a house. There's a lot of anxiety involved with that because they don't know if they're going to be able to move into that house that they're trying to buy. They don't know when they're going to be able to move. The same thing with selling. They don't know if they're going to get what they need. They don't know when they're going to be able to when the right offer is going to come, etc. So as a professional, you know, it's our job no matter what the house is, whether it's a $50,000 mobile home or $1 million house on the lake, you know, we want to take care of their needs equally, and we want to make them feel like we care about their needs without judgment. We're going to work on your behalf to do everything we can on your behalf. So, you know, for me, I thought that guy was awesome. Superior service. I thought it was worth mentioning for today's Monday Mindset. So, action steps for this week. Action step number 1: think of a time that you provided exceptional service to a past client. Call that past client and ask them for a review. Do 2 posts on social media this week that is real estate related, geared towards trying to get a listing. Take 1 person out for coffee, and the person you took out for coffee last week, send them a note card thanking them for their time. And in case you're wondering, I took a client out last week for coffee as well, and now that guy's looking for an investment property. So it doesn't have to be just anybody. Pick your favorite past client, your favorite person on your database, just invite them out for coffee and catch up with them. 3 note cards per day, 4 days this week. So 12 total note cards. And then look into doing a monthly mailer. For me, I use Brian Buffini's referral maker system. He mails me what I mail out every month. It works for me. If you want to try and explore a different option, that's up to you. But I would say look into doing one of those services. That's all. See you guys around. Let's have a great week.